What's up, Karma Nation? Welcome back to another edition of the Teeing It Up podcast. I am your host, AC, with DFSkarma.com and BetKarma.com. I'm your host tonight. We'll talk about the AT&T Pebble Beach National Pro-Am. And I got my co-host, Sam Sherman. We'll talk about last week's big tournament. DFS, we'll talk about betting, of course. We all had big-time winners there. And then we'll go into this tournament. I mean, I mentioned this exact, verbiage in our Discord channel, which you can access at the website. I think aesthetically, we can all agree this is one of the most beautiful courses in the entire world. That's not any new news. We all know Pebble Beach, but the field is extremely weak, I would say. I mean, there's a couple top-end guys that we'll get to with Cantlay and Berger. Willie Z did withdraw. It's Tuesday, early afternoon here. He is out of the field. But other than that, I don't like this field because, and Sam will talk about it, it's essentially a no cut up until the end of Saturday. There is a cut after the 3 days, Spyglass being one of the harder courses here. But Sam, let's go back real quick and let's talk about last week, because this is how we like to start the podcast. We had a massive win. I'm going to go right to you. You mentioned the units that you won. Everybody fucking won, I feel like, in our Discord. I mean, yeah, Luke List, talk about Luke List. And then I want you to accentuate on – this is why we talk about in this podcast, why golf betting in specific it's the best sport to bet on how you can grow your bankroll. You said it perfectly in Discord. So why don't you talk about the units that you're up right now and kind of how your last week went?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of touts on Twitter and everything like that, it's always like sometimes like the talk in units can be overblown, and that's like it's a little silly sometimes to talk about that. But if you do, I mean, if you want to make it quantitative, it's like, okay, I put 1.5 units on Luke List at 70-1. So that's an 105 unit win. Take away the other bets that I lost. So it's like I'm up in the high 90s. So I've now hit one bet, which I feel like Luke List owed us all. But it's like you hit one bet, and now it's like you could literally lose a full bankroll of like 8 to 10 units a week for 4 months and still break even. It's like It's just a very different mentality, but that's just how it works. And that's why it's like I don't get scared off, or it's like I think people sometimes who are new to golf betting, it's like, wow, dude, like you suck ass. Like you've lost like 7 weeks in a row. It's like, yeah, dude, I probably had like 2 seconds that count for nothing. Yeah. So, dude, I couldn't believe he pulled it off. When he bogeyed 17 with a classic like 4-foot miss, I was like, oh no. I was like, this is not. I was like, Rahm's gonna come on like eagle 18 and win. And it's just like,
oh god.
If Billy Horschel would have won though, I would have lost my mind. I can't stand that guy.
Yeah, he made a run there for sure. I had mentioned in Discord, I had a nice dinner Saturday night with the lady, and I didn't get to watch it, but I was kind of like monitoring before the dinner started, and I knew Luke had a shot. Shout out to Steven as well. He had him written up in his article. You had the bets. I tailed you. I saw Brad had the bets. I mean, literally everybody had Luke List. But, you said it perfect. We can go weeks now. We don't want to, but we can go weeks without winning one of these bets that we dropped and still have a really good year.
Did you end up hedging or did you not hedge?
I didn't, only because, dude, I was driving home. I was texting you while I didn't either. I mean, that's a true degenerate right there, just trying to win it all, which I did. But as I was driving, I just really didn't have enough time, man. As soon as I got home, the playoffs started. So, I did check my book and they took it down, then they put it back up, and I just said, F it, like, let's roll with List. I mean, whatever happens, going to happen. I had a pretty good DFS week. My main lineup actually hit. I had Luke List. At the end of the day, if you have the winner in your main DFS lineup, more often than not, you're probably going to cash and going to win. I don't know if you played him in your main lineup, Sam, but my MME wasn't that great. I think I only returned like 40% of my overall entries, but I'm giving the whole MME thing a try again this year, and we'll go from there, man. We're off to a nice start for the season.
Did you play Luke List in cash? Lucky because I only had 4 or 6 in cash because Y's tremendous collapse and Finau, who's apparently dust. Dude, I was saying this pre-pod. I had a 4 of 6 in the main lineup, and my 2 guys who missed the cut were Bryson and Finau. Like, okay, like that's golf in a nutshell right there.
Yeah, that, when we mentioned on this podcast, right? Finau, people don't understand. Like Finau, when he becomes mega chalk, I mean, it's just the law of averages in life. He tends to somehow fail the general population. keep an eye on V now. Like the next event that he's at, if he is lower owned because he quote unquote burned everybody and he's, bad and tired, then we'll go back to Finau. I mean, I played him too. He fit my lineup. For some reason, I had a bad gut feeling about him. I mentioned it on the podcast. So it didn't work out there. But, I had a 5 or 6 lineup. But again, let's get into Pebble Beach now, Sam. I think it's important. I want to hear from you about the whole structure, but I just want to say, thanks again, everybody tuning in. This is a long journey, right? Like we talked about Luke List. We have a long golf season ahead of us. And if you just dive in and you take some notes and you listen to Sam and I, it's not about just this week. It's not about last week. I mean, you can hear in our podcast us talking about the Luke List of the world. Names roll off our tongues. It might not be this week, but you'll see a story will unfold this calendar year, and that's the journey of both golf betting and DFS. It's like a longer game. It's a little bit hard to explain, but there's a longer story. It's not just week to week. So we appreciate you, tuning in for us for these 30 minutes. So Sam, talk to me about the whole setup this week, the 3 courses we're playing. Obviously I mentioned out the gate, it's a 3-day no cut, but there is a cut after Saturday.
Yeah. So they all play. It's really similar to the Amex 2 weeks ago. So everyone plays Pebble one of the first 3 days. Pebble is like, the host course ever. Everyone knows Pebble. It's played here every year. It's hosts the U.S. Open. It's known for having like the smallest greens on tour. They're tiny. They're like 3,500 square feet, I think, on average, which is like half that. Like that's about half the size of the average PGA green. So, guys greens, which sounds obvious, but also guys who can scramble because that not everyone's going to hit these tiny greens. Monterey is like the scoring one, I guess, if you want to call it. I mean, winds can play each factor since this is obviously right in the ocean. Like we've seen Pebble play really tough. We've seen Pebble play really easy. So the wind kind of matters. But in terms of like showdown and, guys making birdies, I mean, the guys will get to that mid 20 under range, I assume this week, whoever wins it. But, Monterey, you got to go pretty low. Spyglass can play pretty tough. And then Pebble, Pebble is not incredibly hard. I mean, the fairways are large, the course is short, and the rough is pretty short. So it's just, I think the one thing this week is, I won't be the only one to say this, but I think Pebble Beach course history, that includes like US Open, is like one of the stickier on tour in my opinion. So I think course history does matter. I'm not to say that that's like no one can, if you haven't played well here, you can't compete well. But like, we just look at the guys who like play well here a single year, like Jay, Jordan Spieth, Kevin Streelman, GOAT, like even a guy like I wrote him up in my article as a pure punt because the 6K range sucks. But like Brian Gay, who's been useless for the last 6 months, he has made like 5 straight cuts here. Like these same guys just kind of they because the greens are really tough to read. So that's my overarching thing. And I mean this field blows, but there's always an edge.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome to watch. To your point, and guys, I usually do this early in the podcast, but I'd be remiss not to remind you, if you head to dfskarma.com, you can check out Sam's content, betkarma.com. You can check out our betting article that Steven does. Also, there's the core plays. There's our final thoughts, which is our cheat sheet. That's our premium product. And of course, the projections portal. I'm looking at it right now, Sam, as you're talking, the projections portal. I always like to talk about the value column because I generally feel like that's like the most important thing to look at, projected points or whatever, but the value column really sticks. As you were talking, I did filter by your course history rank. You guys can literally filter this, on the back end of your computers there. And it is interesting seeing the names. I mean, I'll just rattle them off. Jason Day, number 1, Jordan Spieth, number 2, Jimmy Walker, number 3, Snedeker, Streelman, Jones, Vaughn Taylor, Nick Taylor, Berger, Scott Stallings, Pat Perez, and Mr. Ted Potter. We remember that versus Dustin Johnson a few years back. So you're right. I mean, this is
like listen to those names. Like those are not like top world. Like, some of them are, but those are not like
right.
Jimmy Walker has been relevant since NAM. So it's like,
yep,
he just plays well here. Yeah.
You're right. They show up though, right? I mean, every year. And like for you people making multiple lineups, 20 max entry stuff, or you use the optimizer on our website, you can access, this is something that you should bake into your logic this week. And I fully agree with Sam. We don't always agree on this podcast and everything, but I'm with him. Like this week, I'll probably, bake into when I make 150 lineups, I'll probably try to weight a little bit of course history, a little bit more so than some other weeks. And then also, too, as we start this podcast, we'll get into the DraftKings pricing. Don't worry, guys. Take a deep breath. We're going to get to your favorite part of the podcast, the PGA betting table. I'm looking at that right now at dfskarma.com. It's a tool that Sam obviously provides on the back end. It's something that I like to look at when making my bets, right? And a lot of you guys, I do think it's smart making top 20 bets. Sam and some other guys historically have done some of that stuff for us. And you can kind of just get an idea of oh, wow, I'm just going to bring up a guy right now that I like this week that I already made a bet, and I put it in the Discord channel, Cameron Tringali. He comes up in Sam's rank is the number 4 overall rank in the PGA betting table, and that includes the stats, the course form rank, the course history rank, and just mixing and matching some of the top 5 odds and top 20. Again, you guys can check these data points out on your own, of course. But the point is, we offer a lot at DFS Karma and Bet Karma, and this week in specific, Pebble Beach, if you use promo code PGA free, I'll say it again, PGA free, you can access all of this stuff for free this week. Sam and I were talking, we may even do it another week down the road here, maybe for one of the bigger tournaments, but PGA free this week. Use the code on the website. You can unlock everything that we just described for free. Okay, Sam, with that being said, let's go to everybody's favorite portion of the podcast. I'm going to start with you. There's not a lot of guys in the 10K range, so let's start with Rose and above. I feel like.
Yeah. As you mentioned, Willie Z with Drew. I don't know. This is an interesting one because it seems with Zalatoris drawing, I think a lot of these guys will get even higher than I have them right now. I think Cantlay could end up being now more towards 30. I don't even think we need to talk. I mean, Cantlay and Berger, 1A, 1B. I actually wish that DK would have done what I also wish they would have done last week with Rahm and priced Cantlay higher. But either way, Berger's never come worse than 10th in 3 tries. Cantlay's dominated this course. Cantlay has I think 2 wins and 3 top 5s in his last 6 starts. So they're 1A, 1B. I guess in cash, I guess I with Berger for the discount. It has literally nothing to do with anything but the $700 savings. But I think those, it sounds silly to say, I only make about 5 teams a week. I think I would lean with Berger, but every time I fade Cantlay, I feel like he burns me. And then as I go down, I need to take a stand somewhere. I'm not playing Jason Day. I get it, but the course history is ridiculous. And
it is insane.
Dude, Matt McNeely. I like him. I played him more than I think most, but 9,800 now with Willie Z out, going to be probably well above 20%. I'll just go with Rose, who's chalky, but Mav, I don't know. I can't eat all the chalk, and Mav McNeely, I think I prefer Rose and Tringali anyway. So that's kind of where I sit. And then Spieth, I'll let you talk about Spieth. I don't know if you're doing Spieth, but that's a tough one.
I'm not touching Spieth, but man, he's the one guy, clearly, guys, that is going to be lower owned. I haven't even looked at ownerships, and by the way, using promo code PGA free, you can check the ownership projections in the projections portal. I know that updates more throughout the week, so again, check in on that. But Spieth is, of course, if you want to be the guy that makes one lineup and you get all weird with it, you go Spieth. He could easily win. His form is atrocious. He had a kid, right, Sam? Is that part of his deal right now? What's going on with him?
I was looking some stuff up this morning. I'm pretty sure before he turned around last year, he came to this event and had been playing horrendously. And this is the first event that he kind of liked. And then, of course, he finishes 3rd. Dude, he's made 10 straight cuts here with 4 top 10s, a win, and no worse than
right.
Wow. I don't know. It depends. It's hard to answer whether he's a good play. Someone asks, is Spieth too risky? It's it depends on the rest of the lineup. If you're playing Spieth, Fitz, Kiz, Brian Harman, all guys who I don't who I think are riskier, I probably wouldn't do that. But if you're playing chalk and you need to not play a 30% Cantlay, then I think Spieth is a fine play.
I got to give you credit. Justin Rose was a guy I would probably never have played last week. And you kind of, you had a good write-up on him. And you'd be surprised, Sam. You do persuade me at times as much as we give each other shit. And he was a key to my lineup last week. He was up there. I don't know what he finished, but he had to be top 5 most of the weekend.
Dude, he finished 3rd. He finished 18, 3rd. On the water. Yeah.
And I'm with you. It's hard to want to play all these guys. Yes, I want to play all these guys. And I can totally agree with McNeely. I do think he's a baller. You got to cross them out, right? If you can't play freaking everybody, even if I'm making MME lineups, I got to draw a line in the sand. I'm probably out of loyalty bonus points going to go back to Justin Rose. I mean, dude, I was looking at his stats this morning. You're right in your article last week. Like, he found something. He's turned the corner. I mean, I didn't bet him. Maybe that's a mistake now. The more I'm thinking about it, you did say he was down to 20-1. Day could be the other guy that I cross off, I guess. As much as I hate saying it with the course history, just not playing Spieth. I'm zoned in on Berger for some reason. Like, I don't know what it is. I just think it's like, you know, us doing this, right? We talked about the journey of these podcasts and looking at data. And, you know, I'm not a huge Berger fan, but I know the courses to really play him at. And I feel like, again, like before I even looked at the app and looked at the pricing, I knew I wanted Berger. Like, I knew Cantlay would be there. Trust me, dude. I want Cantlay too. But I'm probably starting with Berger in my main lineup, right? If I have to pick one, it's Berger. I really like Rose a lot.
From my article, since last year's AT&T Pro-Am, Berger has gained strokes on approach in every single tournament.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I've even sometimes, again, like I've admitted my failures with Berger. I've faded him too much, and it burned me like in the last like 18 months. Like, so I've come around to him. You know, I'm sure I'll mush it and he'll start going the other direction. But I've been playing him more recently only because, like, hey, it's like, dude, this guy's better than even I thought for a period of time. So I'm probably starting with Berger. I guess, you know, I'm not going to argue Cantlay, whatever. Go Cantlay if you guys got the cash. But I like Berger, and I like Rose a lot too. So that's that. Let's go to the next range. We'll go from Tringali down to, let's stop at Mr. Hoagie at 8,500. So I'll go to you in this range.
Yeah, so you mentioned, I think you like him even. I'm normally the one beating his drum, but Tringali like is playing way better than anyone seems to care about. And what I put in my article is, I mean, his one weakness is off the tee game, but that's like the one thing that's mitigated this year that like matters the least, I think. And he finished well last year. He's been playing well. He finished well last week. Naturally, he sucked the week I bet him and played him 2 weeks ago, but it is what it is. I like Tringali. Seamus Power is a one in that, like, I have not considered him really much all week for no reason other than I just like Tringali. I'm not playing Fitz. Streelman is so tough because I love Kevin Streelman, obviously, and he's elite here. And
fits him really well.
Yeah, it really does. But I don't know. His form is not incredible. The guy I'm playing who will probably burn me is Kisner. Because, so I don't like Kevin Kisner. I'm a known hater because I think he's just a douche. And all he does is just kind of make
I never play him. I don't think I've ever played him.
Because he'll literally like come third and then like miss the cut by 15 shots. But this course like is Kevin Kisner. Number one, he's been playing better. He's 2 straight top 10s, gaining on approach in both of those. What does he do well? He hits it short and hits his wedges really close and makes every putt. That's like all you need to do. So I think this is a great play. I think he'll be
history here too.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be lower owned than a lot of these guys. And then guys, I'll keep playing Lanto Griffin. He's better than people realize, I think. Great form, too.
I'm not going to argue that. I think this range, okay, we like Rose. I already gave it away. I like Tringali a lot. And, you know, for all the reasons you said, I feel like, again, it's just, I keep using the same word, the journey, the story. Dude, we've been on Tringali, I feel like, for 9 months. Like, you and I have played him a lot. I'm not saying he's the best play, you know, of the slate. I really do like him. Obviously, I'd probably prefer Rose if you got the $100 in DFS. I'm definitely going overrate Tringali in MME. I did bet him, so I didn't want to miss out in theory if he does bank a win here, and I don't play him in my main lineup. I do like Power, but I bet him. I'll probably go a little bit overweight him in DFS. I think this whole range is extremely overrated, I think, this week. I mean, I don't really find myself in this range for really any of these guys. I do like a lot of these guys, but I will think the whole MME game, if people are making 20 max lineups or 100 lineups, it's probably going to be one in this range. Like, you're going to have the Fitzpatrick on your team. Like, listen, I don't like Fitzpatrick this week at all, but dude, if he's 5% owned, you know, this is a Fitzpatrick course. I mean, I hate breaking it to.
So this is what I was going to say. This goes when you open up. I mean, I think that golf in general, I think what we're both trying to do this year, and like I'm trying to get way better at, is not to get so caught up in like the short-term data and things you're seeing. And like if you're playing MME, like referencing, I'm not saying like you're playing 3 lineups, but if you're playing MME, like Kevin Kisner is going to be 10% or less. And then you play, it's like, okay, has Brian Harman been relevant in the last 6 months? Like, no. But like this course literally fits exactly what Brian Harman does well. And like if you bet on his long term versus his short term, like that probably wins out. He's going to be 7% on. So I think that, I think obviously stats are important, and I'm like a data person. You know, a lot of times they can be skewed.
Yeah.
Like people don't realize, like there's a good chance guys can hit a shot that literally loses them like 2 strokes on the field, which is like ridiculous. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like when you're fucking, I mean, I don't know. I was going to ask what you thought about Tom Hoagie, who we had to call Tom Hoge.
Did you see I bet him? Did you see I bet him? I didn't want to miss out. I feel like wait, is it pronounced Hoge, by the way, for real? Is it?
Oh no, it's Hoge? Definitely Tom Hoagie, but my friend and I love.
I call him Hoge.
I like Hoge.
Okay. Listen, I like Tom Hoagie. I almost played him a couple of weeks ago, like in a really high. I don't even know what tournament it is now. It's like these weeks are blurring together. I ultimately didn't, but dude, I mean, talk about stats, darling. Like, and I know you know what I'm talking about. Like, this guy just continues to creep up in my models. Like, it doesn't even matter the tournament at this point. Like, I get it; he's not a household name, but you know, I think Tom Hoagie's going to. I think this course suits him perfectly. Like, what's his course history here? Let's check. It's average. I mean, it's subpar, I guess, but he's made a lot of cuts here, whatever. I don't know, man. I just feel like Hoagie's the type of dude that could win at 65-1, and that's what I bet him at. So I like him here. Let's go to the next range. I'll start this range since you started the last couple. This range has a lot of guys, and that's why I said I think the 8K range is personally dead for me as far as, you know, making one main lineup, you know, one cash / GPP single entry. I'll just start rattling a couple names off, and then you can interject or, you know, you can take over. So I like Cooch a lot. I think he'll be popular. Listen, I like Andrew Putnam a lot at 7,600. I think this is a guy that you brought up a few times. I've talked about him in the past. I don't know if he's going to get much traction. Do you think he's going to be popular this week?
No, just because he's like right near Kuchar's to be popular, Glover be popular. Yeah.
That's kind of why I like him, dude. I mean, we've talked about this in the past. Putnam is one of those weird guys that can like actually win. I mean, he's won on the Euro Tour a few times, correct? I mean, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know. That's somebody that stuck out to me.
He's just a really good short game. So
he does. I mean, like he's got good irons. A couple of guys I want to bring up in specific. Yes, we talked about Russell Knox in Discord. I historically am a Russell Knox degenerate, and I'm assuming he's going to be highly owned. So is Lucas Glover, and I'm going to go to you in a second. But you know who I really like a lot, and I'm guessing he's going to be popular. But dude, with all these guys right here, how is Aaron Ryle? How do you pronounce his last name? Is he not going to be popular? Ryle. Because I feel
like know who he is.
This sets up really well for him.
Yeah, people hate him because he wears 2 gloves and uses iron covers.
I mean, obviously, I'm assuming like when you're making your model, Sam, that he projects really well, at least in the last, 3, 4, 5 tournaments. But I took a deeper dive into his numbers, and it just screams the accuracy type golfer we want this week. It screams his green and regs really stick out. He's got a good wedge game, and it looks like he's got a nice around the green game. I mean, again, I haven't watched him enough, obviously, but I like him a lot. So I actually bet him. I don't know what I got him at, 66-1 or something.
I mean, look at his last
maybe he was
91.
Starts. Yeah, I think he was 91.
He had the 6th last week, and then in his last 5 he has 2 other T20s. So no, I think he's good. I mean, people just don't know him because he's only played in the Euro until really this year. So I don't know. I don't think he's not played Pebble, but I like him. I agree he won't be on despite coming top 10 last week because of, like we said, Russell Knox is right there. I can't wait to get burned by Glover. I already know what's going to happen. I don't even care.
Don't do it. I can't. I mean, I get it. I want to play him too. But dude, talk to me about Knox. Like, what? I mean, I get it, dude. Like, look at his stats. He's the same player, honestly, as Aaron Ryle. I feel like he's going to hit it down the fairway. He's going to hit a ton of greens.
Knox just I've always seen he rates out so well every single year, and it's like
I know he doesn't know how to like score though.
The putting, it doesn't even like do it justice to say it's bad. Like, I think in 3 of his last 5, not only he lost strokes putting, obviously, but he's lost like over 4 strokes in each of them. Like, it's comically bad.
I was very impressed with him in Hawaii, though. I was impressed with him in Hawaii. I don't know if you actually got to watch much Hawaii golf, but
No, I play
seventh place.
It's
Sony. I mean,
all the time. I mean, if you want the dust,
it's
I'm going
torture.
back to
If
that.
you guys play Russell Knox,
if you want the dust, I'm going back to. It's Keith Mitchell. I can't stop playing him because I know his ceiling. Like his ceiling is like a top 3 out of nowhere. So like the one time he comes top 3 in 50 tournaments, it'll be sick. We skipped. You started. I was gonna say I'm playing Mackenzie Hughes, even though I hate his guts because.
Wow, that's pretty surprising, actually. What's his price point? Oh, 84. See, I don't know if I'm gonna.
See, he seems overpriced. That's the first thing.
Isn't that Bernie's guy, by the way? Isn't that like his dude? Like, don't they hang out?
I can't stand him, but it's like he literally rates highly, and like he's like top 10 in birdie or better. He's like first in birdie better, top 10 in greens. He makes every putt imaginable. So it's like. I don't know. I mean, his course history isn't great, but he does have a top 10. So I like Mackenzie Hughes. I don't think anyone's going to own him.
He does make every putt.
No, literally. It's like up from 85 feet, Mackenzie Hughes.
I'll give you that. Like, he's going to be 5% owned. I mean, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I can't decide whether it's worth to take the plunge on Snedeker. I am playing Pat Perez. He played great last week.
Yeah, I didn't look into Pat Perez. I mean, Snedeker 100% is going to be like if I'm making my MME lineups. I mean, Poa, he's starting to find a little bit of form. I don't think it's anything great. I actually didn't. I should bring it up.
No, but he's like he's the perfect MME guy. Take like 10% Snedeker and be triple the field.
I'm not enthusiastic about him in a main lineup at all, but he gets owned. The problem with Snedeker is a lot of these old school DFS golfers continue to play him, and I just don't think he's worth it. Like, I really don't think he's got the upside. Now, Sam, actually, you and I didn't discuss this. I feel like we need to start getting in a better habit of it. What does the weather look like? Because let's be real, Snedeker is an elite play if there is heavy winds, if there's rain. I actually did not check the weather. I'm usually on point with that, but I should probably.
I haven't looked yet, but just if it's hard to do. Dude, it's so hard to do though because like the changes on a dime.
No, for sure. But he's, if it is really bad weather, Snedeker is one of them. Who else are you looking at? I mean, who's down here who probably isn't going to get as much traction this week and really fits well for this course is Joel Dahmen. I mean, we made fun of him a few weeks ago because he was mega chalk. But, dude, I don't know. Again, is he going to be highly owned? I doubt it only because I just feel like there's too many guys in the 7K range that is going to be spread out. Joel Dahmen will be owned, but again, I mean, dude, if he's lower owned than I think, he's somebody I would go 3x on because this is the type of course that Joel Dahmen can just win. I mean, he can. He does have that game for this type of setup. And I think he's actually played well here before. I'm bringing it up right now. Yeah, he had a 14th place finish in 2020.
Guys, I want to talk about is
he's Joel Dahmen.
I'm obviously playing Troy Merritt, so he can miss the cut. Dude, this does fit Troy Merritt's game. Like, he's literally a worse Kevin Kisner. And then. Dude, that young kid, I think probably the best value in the entire slate. I'll probably play him maybe in cash is Alex Smalley. I know I keep talking about him on these pods. He's really good. I played him the 1 week. Actually, dude, we're looking at rain this week in Pebble Beach. Unless I'm missing something. You probably are missing. We're looking at – I must be – yeah, I'm in the wrong area. Yeah, Alex Smalley, I think, is a stud. I think he has actual win equity and top 10 equity at only 72. Unfortunately, what is that noise? I don't know. Keep going. For anyone on the stream, that's Anthony's noise. It seems like we're both on the flavor of the week, possibly, in Grayson Sig. But dude, he's good. I saw you bet him at a way better number than I got. Yeah, he looked. Yeah, I got him at 125 to 1. Yeah, I like him. He fits a lot of the boxes I'm looking to check off this week, and I do think he's going to be popular. It's going to suck. I'm going to play, but you know what? Joseph Bramlett, I played the other week, and honestly, he was higher owned in cash games, which whatever. But in tournaments, he was like 9% owned, and I was quite surprised by that. So yeah, I'm going to play him. I'm assuming he'll be 10% owned in tournaments, but I like him a lot. I don't know, Sam, if you're there, if you had to sign off real quick. No, I'm here. You mentioned Vincent Whaley. Okay. Yeah, let's get to this bottom range and finish up. Dude, I'll be honest. I know every week it's not great, but this week, the 6K range, I feel like is especially bad. There is not a single person here I'm it's a fine play. I don't mind, dude. Satoshi Kodaira. I know you don't even know who that is.
Yeah, so when you're in it, I know who he is.
What? Do you?
Sam. Come on, man.
Dude, Kodaira is so funny.
Did he play in the
He won the Heritage. He won the Heritage in 2018, and like literally in the last year, he's literally missed like 10 cuts and then come like top 20 in his other 5. Perfect GPP play.
Yeah.
He's been hitting it kind of low. He's just.
I'll put him in MME.
I always play James Hahn. His stats are good.
So do I, actually. It's funny.
And then I mentioned I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll take a shot on Brian Gay and hopefully just makes every putt. That's all he can do.
We got Ben's cousin in here, Bo Hostler at 6,700. I mean, he's got,
so bad.
He could pop. Kevin Chappell's down here at 6,800. I mean, yeah, all these guys. I mean, man, I played some Bronson Burgoon in my life, but I don't like him here. Tyler McCumber's popped here and there once in a while. He's at 6,600. Bryce Garnett, you and I have played him in the fall swing. I know that a few times at 6,600. But to your point, I mean, dude, wait a second. Like Nate Lashley, perfect example. He's 6,700. I mean, didn't he win? Yeah, I mean, again, he's terrible. But when you're making MME lineups, like, X out most of these guys, but, like a Luke Donald, I hate him. But, Luke Donald makes a cut every time. And, maybe you'll get a Sunday round and you need an extra few points. I mean, you want to keep a few of these guys in your player pool, but X out a lot of them when making multiple lineups.
There's some buzz about this younger kid, Austin Eckro. He looks good in a lot of stats because he doesn't have a ton of rounds. He is good, but he's the only one I could see getting like a little bit of buzz. I don't think anyone below 7 is going to be above like 5%, though. I really don't.
Yeah, I hear that. That basically does it. I mean, this range, I'm just scrolling through this 6K range, and it's bad. It's not like NASCAR where, these guys can accrue a shit ton of points. I mean, it's pretty brutal down here. But like I said, MME folks, pick a few names out of the hat. Like, I'll keep Ted Potter in there. I mean, he's won here before, right? Jimmy Walker, a couple other guys. But that does it. I mean, we just hit the 30-minute on the podcast. We try to keep your time valuable, guys. 30 minutes. Talk some golf with us. We talked a little betting, obviously DFS. And, remember, promo code PGA free get you access to everything for free this week.
Who's your bet of the week? Not like a favorite.
Not a favorite. I might stick with Aaron Rye. I mean, 90-1, like I said, I mentioned that for our customers in Discord. I like that number a lot. I really do think he checks most of the boxes I'm looking for this week. What about you?
I'm going to say Lanto, 50-1. What I wanted to say was my Glover bet because I think I got value, but I know I didn't because he sucks. You know what? No, Glover won last year, dude. He's a goat.
It's interesting that Lanto is 50-1. That actually surprises me. I didn't even see that. I mean, I probably saw it. It just scrolled through my eyes, but I feel like he should be more like 35-1 in this field.
Yeah, I think he's down to 45 now, but I'd still bet it at 45.
It's good value, man. I mean, you've been on the Lanto train for a while, so that does it. Good luck this week, guys. Obviously, we'll be back next week. We got some bigger tournaments coming around the horizon.
Management next week, baby.
Big one. It is the big one. A lot of parlaying of stuff late on Sunday when you have no bets in the winnings and you parlay with the Rams because they're going to beat the Bengals. But I digress, and we will go from there. Good luck this week, guys, and we'll talk to you next week.
Who day?